Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 12 Gymnasts of the Big Ten of On the Floor and Liv and Cor. I'm Liv. Corey is not here with me, but I am joined by a fantastic athlete who just makes my heart sing for so many different reasons. But I'm thrilled to have the wonderful super sophomore from Michigan, Kayli Boozer, on the floor with me. Hi, Kayli.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. I'm just, off day today, so doing all the things.
I love it. Get some rest before a couple big weekends ahead. So obviously, Kayli, this has been, we've talked about it. I've talked about it with you this season from chats before broadcast. This has been an incredible year for you. And coming into college as a freshman, it's a huge transition. You really don't know what you're expecting it to be like until you get there. And obviously, your sophomore season has been such a growth year for you from the summer to now. Can you just talk a little bit and tell people about what this coming into college has been like for you, and then this season, how you've really felt that you've settled into your position as a student athlete, both as a student and as an athlete?
Yeah, I think obviously freshman year, coming from just a small town where I had a lot less to focus on, was definitely just a huge change. I had the same schedule for years and years and years, and then I got to college, and then every semester your schedule changes a little bit, whether it's different class times or like after practice, you have like tutorings at different times, and then your whole week to week schedule is just kind of different um, every single week with especially season. So I think learning how to balance and look ahead at what was coming up and figuring out when I can fit everything into my schedule was super difficult for me freshman year. And so over the summer, I kind of just like, I guess, thought about sophomore year. I was like, okay, I've already gotten the hardest part over with. So now it's just more about embracing what's ahead. So I, didn't just think about like, okay, what was my schedule like last year? It was more just like, okay, I know that there are things that are going to come up that I'm not going to be ready for, but I'm just going to take them and embrace them. So I feel like that's a lot of what has helped me this year, just like being able to, when things come up, I'm just able to take them on. Um, and yeah.
No, that's amazing. And I think, you know, taking your words, taking things on when they come at you. I think vault is a perfect example of that. You've had your ups and downs with the event. Everyone goes through their things with certain events and skills and whatever in gymnastics. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey for you, and then what sticking your vault at Oklahoma in just your second competitive showing on the event meant in that climb to get there?
Yeah, like and I know that you've heard of about this, but even in club, I never did a full twisting or chinko. And my last year of level 10, I had changed to the front pike on or front pike half vault or front pike half vault. And I never did it in competition, and I completely had stopped doing the Yurchinkos. And so I only competed a front handspring all of level 10. And then came to college and I didn't do vault at all freshman year. I tried a couple days in the summer or a couple weeks or so in the summer, and then we were just kind of took vault and bars kind of out of my like training schedule pretty much. And then it was I think in October or something like that. Sometime last semester, I was waiting for a floor assignment because I would do floor when my teammates were on vault. And Sherman was just like, okay, you know what? Let's just come have fun. So he made me go over to vault and we were just kind of playing around for a little bit. And then the Yurchenko kind of started coming back to me a little bit. And then he threw okay, that looks pretty good. Let's try to twist it. And that's when I started going a little crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. And so I got really nervous. And I think just trying to like, get rid of all in club and not even think about, you know, whether like the different vaults I've tried and like how I've done them. I just kind of tried to forget about all of those. Um, and the funny part is like when I first started them, there was very minimal fear with them because I would just kind of thought of it as like, okay, I'm just gonna throw it and see what happens. And then once it got to where they were actually like decent and I had to start thinking about them, that's I think when the mental blocks started happening. And the way I would describe it to like my teammates and coaches and stuff is that it literally like trying to think about it, doing the vault, just kind of felt like a fever dream. Like I knew that if I did it, I would know what to do, but trying to explain how I'm doing it just was so hard for me and it made me super nervous to do it. And so I had a mental block for a couple of months. And then I think I don't even know what happened one day. I was just like, okay, every single time I've done it, it's been perfectly fine. My body knows what to do, even if my brain, when I'm standing at the end of the vault run, has no idea what it's doing. Um, so then just like seeing how quick I made the progress kind of helped me realize that the vault is not bad at all. It's just like my brain. Um, and so there were a couple of weeks where I tried to exhibition and then I either didn't go for it in warm-ups or just wasn't feeling super comfortable. And then it even happened at Oklahoma, my first attempt to do the Yurchenko or the Yurchenko full. I stopped. Like I ran on the vault run and I just stopped. And I had that feeling where I was standing at the end of the vault run and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. And then I just had to throw it again. And just like my approach to vault now is I'm just gonna chunk it. I'm just gonna do it. So that's exactly what I did when I saluted. And then I when I stuck it, it wasn't really like shocking that I stuck it because in practices, I when I do stick, I usually stick like two or three in a row. So it was more just like, oh my gosh, finally, like this is what I've been working on and trying to get done for so long, and it finally happened.
I think your story is so special for so many reasons. The first being that you never did this skill until you went to Michigan. I think that is so incredibly impressive because a lot of people assume that the best college gymnasts are the ones that come in with every skill in the book and then they get to kind of play around with what they want and what works best for them. But for you, you actually learned something new in the latter half of your career. And I think for anyone listening who might have kids or yourself has struggled with it, like that is incredible. So I think you need to give yourself mad props for that first. And second, like mental blocks suck. I was a mental block type of person on Maloney on bars. The exact way you described it is how I couldn't understand how it worked. I couldn't understand how if I let go and my toes went that way, I would catch a bar that's higher and behind me. It didn't make sense to me. And so I experienced something very similar to what you're saying. And getting over it is really hard, especially in a competitive setting. But I love that you're just like, chuck it, do it, go for it. And that's just so empowering that you were able to mentally get there and trust your body when your mind was struggling. So I just want to give you incredible kudos for that.
Thank you so much.
I mean, my gosh. And that vault was to die for. I mean, it just is so beautiful. And you totally have sticky feet this season. So I'm not shocked that you stick two out or three in a row in practice. Not shocked. So pivoting a little bit, Big Tens is at home. This hasn't Michigan hasn't hosted Big Ten since 2015, so 10 years ago, and you get to be a part of it in maybe one of the most exciting Big Ten championships we've had in a really long time. How are you and the team feeling going into this competition, and what are you hoping that happens from it for you guys as a team? What's a team goal for this meet?
I mean, we've kind of been saying it all season. We have so much talent and so much potential in practices, and we really have been like trying to get everything together, like all the sticks together, all the cast handstands, like every little moving piece. We want to be able to just get to the point where we are confident and comfortable, um, with the copy and paste from practice to the meet. Um, and I think another thing that for me I've been thinking about is just like the banners that we hang up in the gym with all the Big Ten championships we've won. It's not just the championships we've won, it's just the legacy that every other person before us has left that has made us one of the elite programs. And so just thinking not about like what rings our team individually is gonna win, but thinking about like we are gonna be like I want us to be up there too, so that way future teams come in and they see, 2025, 2026, whenever Big Ten championships, and they're also the team that is looking up there being like, okay, I want to be a part of this legacy too. So just not just for our team this year, but for every other team that's going to come after.
That's amazing. And I know I wasn't a part of that national championship winning team. I came before that and I feel so connected to that, even though I wasn't on that team. But Bev has created this legacy at Michigan that allows you to feel connected to people who came before you. And so I love that you pointed out the banners. Those are truly the reason I went to Michigan. I walked in that gym and I was in awe of looking up at all of those banners and all of those teams that accomplished that feat. And I wanted to do it too. So I feel really passionately about that. And I'm so excited to see Chrysler in championship mode.
Me
So
too.
I'm like so excited. When Burns come out, it's great. My final question for you, this is the question Corey and I are asking every athlete we're interviewing is the Big Ten is stacked with talent, with amazing athletes. Is there an athlete on a different Big Ten team who you look up to or who you just really admire as a person and as an athlete?
Um, well, it's so hard because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I think, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I hate it when you ask me questions like this.
Sorry.
Um, Obviously, like, especially with the new teams coming in, there are so many great UCLA gymnasts, so many great gymnasts from like Minnesota and Michigan State. And I think I really admire a lot of the athletes on Michigan State's team just because like I mean they won their first Big Ten championship last year, which is amazing, and they all continue to try to bring that to their team from, what I've seen, and just whenever we compete against them, their confidence coming into the gym, like everyone feels it. And so it's so awesome to go up against teams like that where it's like they feel so confident and you can tell, and it helps us boost our confidence and like, okay, like we're going up against this team, they're so confident and we can be too. And then I think like one athlete individually is probably Maya Hooten. She's just so awesome. And Brooklyn Moore's. Like there's so many that I could name off right now, but I think they're so just amazing at literally everything they do.
Well, that's how many people feel about you too. So I love to hear you say that about others. And I truly feel that this Big Ten championship has some magic to it. And I'm incredibly excited to be a part of it and be able to tell all of your stories and just watch you all have so much fun because Big Tens were the highlight of my years every time I was an
Oh
athlete. I'm so excited for you. Thank you for taking time to talk to me. It's just always fun to hear from you and hear about your story and everything that goes into it beyond being a spectacular athlete, but just being a solid person, teammate, and someone who is in it for the right reasons. So I'm so proud of you. Thank you for
Thank
chatting
you.
with me. And I cannot wait to watch you shine at Big Ten.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Course. That is another episode of the 12 Gymnasts of the Big Ten with Kayli Boozer, one of the fantastic athletes we all get to watch at the Big Ten Championship this coming weekend. So thank you so much for listening and look forward to hearing your thoughts on the Big Ten Championship. Bye.